Welcome to Aired Out, brought to you by Capitol Showplace Montpelier and Paramount Theater Barrie. At FGBtheaters.com, CW Print and Design in Barrie, at CWPrintDesign.com, Peak Entertainment, PeakDJ.com, Cruise Planners, your land and cruise experts. In Vermont, CruisePlanners.com, Donnybrook Fight Promotions of Williamstown, CBDCrave.com. Presented by CVTV, Public Access Channel 192 and 194, CVTV723.org, Fontaine Forestry and Millworks, Route 14 East Montpelier. Custom orders, rough, kiln dry, plain, tongue and groove, or shiplap. FontaineMillworks.com and Fly on the Wall Productions. Now, let's get aired out.
Tonight on Aired Out, we are live here in Barrie with a guy that has been touring America for more than 20 years. He has played with possibly everybody that I could think of on the Eastern Seaboard. He's going to name a few names tonight, but it is with such an honor to welcome into the studios here at Central Vermont Television, CVTV in Barrie, on my podcast, Aired Out. Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Hollister. What an honor, my brother. And the crowd goes
Crowd.
Oh.
Studio audience is really quiet tonight.
Hey, let's begin with one of the most important things that we have to get to with in terms of housekeeping tonight. Let's take care of it right off and give some love to Sherilyn. I mean, let's prioritize and start with the top of the top.
She's my girlfriend, and I love her. Sherilyn, I don't know how many pairs of socks you have to buy before you realize that I'm the guy where you really need to be,
Oh my God.
Yeah, socks.
The sock sale's coming up, buddy. Realize
Ooh, can't wait.
Yes.
Yeah.
You need to get some socks.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm so happy that you're in here tonight. I don't know where to begin, but I just want to start with saying I love you to pieces, brother.
Oh man, thank you.
You
I love you too.
You've been such a great friend to me over the last couple of years, and it means a lot to me that you just call and check in every now and then and see how I'm doing, and it just means a lot to me that you do that.
Yeah, man.
And
that's what it's all about.
You and I we have a lot in common, and we also have a lot not in common, but mostly that we are dads. And I don't know if you've seen Lily lately, but man, she is just sprouting like a friggin' weed. It's incredible how fast it happens.
That's what they do. I mean, Riley is a freshman in high school. It's hard for me to even say that. I just can't believe it. And Bodie's in 7th grade. It's crazy. You grow up hearing about enjoy the time because it goes so fast. And
yeah,
it really does.
And you and the family just got back from a adventure where you toured pretty much, I don't know how many states but you went all over America in a bus, and you played, and you just, my God, where did you go? You started in Vermont.
We started with our Spruce Peak show. From January to July of 2018, we did about 32 states, and beelined it right down to Florida, and then came across kind of the southern part of the country through Nolens. We did a nice stint in Florida, but through Nolens and Texas, and then into New Mexico, and then California. We zigzagged a little bit, but did a lot in the Pacific Northwest, in Oregon and Washington and Utah. Southern Utah is crazy, but it was just amazing. We did it all together with the kids. They were 10 and 12 at the time, and of course my lovely wife Katie, who and loves you as well, by the way.
And I love her.
And it was great. It was amazing. It's something that a lot of people say they always want to do, but we were really blessed with having the situation that we could do it. Katie was in a job that she could leave and come back to, and and also she's an artist and now is a full-time artist. But at that point, she left her kitchen job at Doty at our small little school, and I, of course, did gigs along the way to help pay for it, and it was awesome.
And the kids, you homeschooled them on the bus.
We did. Katie took the the forefront on that, and our friends, what they did teach us is to kind of unschool. So we let the experience, for the most part, speak for itself. We did math and we did some reading, but the national, we were in over, Bodie knows the number much better than I, but I think over 28, 30 national parks across the country. And so they would do all the Junior Ranger program where they would learn about the parks, and we learned a lot about our Native Americans.
Yeah.
And
what did you see when you got into Yellowstone? You saw some camps, if you will. What's the word I'm thinking of?
The kind of the Native American kind of tenements. You mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we were in tribal lands, and
but it wasn't pretty what you saw. I mean,
no, it's really sad. I mean, the whole, Columbus Day now being Indigenous Peoples Day is really interesting in our school system, and I put this out there to our school board to think again. In that Columbus Day we used to have off for school. And then it changed to Indigenous Peoples Day, and they have school. Like, listen, Christopher Columbus was not a good man. He was not. And but learning, we learned real history. We learned that Navajo means thief. It was a name given to them by the Spanish that came over, that was taking over their lands, and the Spanish nicknamed them Navajo, and it just stuck. But the real name of the Navajo is the Dene. Native American tribe, and that's a piece of history that most people don't know, and a lot of the Navajo people have just kind of not just given in to the reality that people call them Navajo, not knowing that it means thief.
Did you get a chance to mingle with some
We
of our
did.
Native
We did.
Americans?
So, and we met some amazing Native Americans, but then there was also some times where it didn't really feel like in Nia Bay, which is the most northwestern tip of the United States. It wasn't a friendly feeling, and as I think about it, man, I wouldn't be friendly. You know what I mean? Thinking about what was done, and I mean, I think they know because it's their, they're making amazing jewelry or amazing baskets or, all kinds of, amazing gifts, and selling them. So it is, it's commerce for them. But there's also, just there's a sadness out there that I it was hard to see. It was really important for the kids to see it.
Yeah,
I think it's important for
incredible that they did.
people to know about that, because it just history these days is so intense. But but teaching these days, teaching the real history, what really happened and what's still happening.
Sure, that's a huge takeaway.
It's heavy, man.
What was something that stuck out in your mind that pops into your head every now and then, an experience on your trip with your family, playing music and seeing America? What's something that jumps out at you more than anything else? Was there a particular night, a show, meeting someone, seeing something that you just can't forget about, and maybe have been inspired enough to write some music about, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, I think just I would say there were so many moments. I don't know if I could single one out, but we met Lewis and Clark's great grandson, Churchill Clark. So as I say, there's not a moment. That was incredible. And this guy, he still travels the trail and builds canoes and sails them, and he's wonderful, amazing guy. But I think so. I just thought of that one. That was amazing. But the reality, what we came away with as a whole, is that people are good. There's good people, with our situation in our country right now, and people having pride in our country through our leadership. I think there's a lot of a lot of doubt with Americans and with people all over the world with America.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much negativity spinning through our government, you know, with the Republicans and Democrats, and it is like, for God's sakes, guys, get it together and work together, you know. And I think there's such a division in our country right now. But beyond all of that is that people are good.
Isn't that interesting? Because your music is about positivity and life.
Yeah,
and really,
yeah,
and really, you know, I can't think of one negative song that I've ever heard you perform, but really, your music is reflective of our lives, not just your life, but of the lives that so many of us lead and live. And
thanks.
It's a gift. Time and our life is a gift, and you celebrate that gift every time you pick up the guitar. It seems anyway.
Yeah,
and,
thanks.
And when
No,
I've seen it on stage, that's the message that you give out.
Yeah, I like that.
When you leave a Chad Hollister show, you're revived, you're energized, and for me, I'm inspired. And the last couple of times that Sherilyn and I have left one of your shows, I've got like 15 Chad Hollister songs that are earworms, and some of them are going at the same time, multiple songs. And it's like, wow.
It's an orchestra.
It's amazing.
I love that. Thank you. I mean, that's the highest compliment. I think, you know, years ago I jumped off the cliff and you know, people ask for cover songs, and I'm like, sure. It's just not really what I do. So I think that I appreciate that, because it's a very conscious choice. You're
going to play the guitar. You're going to sing in a little bit. Maybe some new music.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do here. But I have some brand new songs that we're debuting Saturday night at the Barre Opera House. Yeah.
This coming Saturday night, BarreOperaHouse.org, by the way, is the way you get your tickets. Yeah. And they're selling fast. How much are the tickets? Do they vary a little bit?
They do. They're basically $27, but seniors and students are $22.
Oh my God.
I mean, you can't beat it. We really wanted to make sure it was affordable for everybody, and if for some reason somebody can't afford it, well, hit me up and I'll see about getting you in. There's a lot of seats. You know, we love our Vermont posse and our Spruce Peak show that happens each year. This is a new ad for us coming back to Barre. So we did it once, probably I think it was 4 years ago.
Yeah, and
it was great. But there's a lot of seats.
Well, 643, and I remember when you were performing the Pitts Quattrone benefit concert this past June. That I mean, you love that theater. Yeah, and it was built, I don't know when, late 1800s, I think. But the acoustics in there are amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
And Dan Casey, Dan's great, and Cindy. Cindy. Tony's lovely here. We're just huge fans of them. I think I might be a little psychotic, but they deal with me. And I appreciate them for being so kind.
When you say psychotic, what I hear is, and I've seen you. I've watched from a distance. I've seen you. I've been backstage with you before shows. I've seen the way you operate, the way you tick. I have to tell you, my man, I don't see that as anywhere even near psychotic.
No,
I see it as, frankly, batshit crazy. No, what I see is a man who is, you're an artist, but you are unbelievably tuned in to detail, and you know exactly how you want things, and you get it buttoned up so tight before a show. And you're a prepper. You prep hardcore, and then you plug and play. And it's unbelievable to watch that on the outside and a little bit on the inside, but to see you in the wings to see the way you've got it dialed in and orchestrated perfectly. It is so precise the way you do a show. It is amazing to me.
I appreciate it, man. I've worked hard on it, and I think that, when I say psychotic, I mean it in the most self-deprecating, introspective way, because I take it so seriously, and I'm definitely a jokester and a prankster. Like you and I have a great time laughing endlessly together about from socks to our amazing wives to our children to our mutual friends, Jamie, Rusty, so I appreciate that, because it is, I think people out there know how hard I work. It'd be really beautiful to just do a turnkey and have all these tickets sell, but I walk around town, man, and selling tickets. I remember hearing stories about Dave Matthews Band and Dave, selling CDs out of the back of his car. I think that's much my school of thought. I'm not a fan of empty seats, because I always want people to be able to experience this show
and walk out of there inspired and with a head full of music.
Head full of music. I love that.
So tell me about Stop the World. It's this album right here in front of me that I'm holding. This almost looks like vinyl. It's either vinyl or it's a big ass CD. This is so cool, man, that you're pressing here vinyl. And
the real deal,
I
man.
I heard a rumor that it's blue.
It is blue. It is blue. We good friends at the Burlington record plant, Justin Crowther, started, has this old press from Germany that he bought that used to press the the Zeppelins and the Stones records, and he bought it, and then he duplicated one, bought the parts for another one, and it's this small little record plant that people have tried to buy into and make it bigger. People wanted to take it down to New York City and try and do it, but he's so smart, and I'm such a fan of his in his way, because he said no. He said, no, I'm going to keep it here, because for so many people, this stuff becomes about money, and money's great, but really, if you want to maintain the quality that you have, and you don't want people that don't know you screaming at you, yelling at you for reasons, which happened, you keep it. You keep it the way you can maintain it. And Justin and his beautiful wife, they've done that. And I just hail them for it, because vinyl is coming back.
I know it is.
There was this, just the other night, I did a gig in White River Junction for the Student Rescue Project, and there was this high school gal, and I heard through the grapevine, through her dad, had told me, he said, man, I don't have vinyl, but she does. And she's 17. So I walked over to her and I said, a little birdie told me that you're a vinyl fan. She said, I am. And I gave it to her. She's like, and these UVM students came. We were playing Red Square in Burlington, and these kids were bug-eyed watching the band play it during Jazz Fest. We played the Saturday night of Jazz Fest. And they were sitting there waiting to buy vinyl, because all the first year freshman kids are crazy about vinyl. Anyway, I love it, and I love the way it sounds.
I know someone that takes the vinyl and puts it on a USB drive and then sticks the USB right into the car and listens to it in the car, because they love the authenticity of the sound of vinyl, which I don't care who you are, man. It's just, you can't duplicate it. No. You just can't.
That crackle.
It's different.
It's magic.
It's different.
Yeah.
I want you to play here in a second, but first off, what is it like being a Vermont musician in this tiny little Green Mountain state? You go out to California, you get signed to Pacific Records. They have ideas and expectations about this guy coming out of this little tiny state way up in the corner up there in New England. Mm-hmm. What's it like being a Vermont musician? I mean, we already know that you're connected with the finest network of musicianship that the state is producing.
Yeah.
You've worked with all of them. There isn't a name, whether it's producer, musician, that you haven't worked with. I mean, literally everybody knows you. But what's it like trying to make a living this is not a side gig for you.
No.
You're not working at the gas station for a couple of hours during the day.
I might be
constantly.
It might be next week.
You are constantly honing what it is that you're doing, if not writing, but just perfecting its outreach, its social media, its scheduling, booking gigs. You're managing yourself. There's a lot to it.
It could take me a year to answer that. No, but in answer in a shortened version to that question, like what's it like? I think the beautiful thing about Pacific Records is that when I went out there and I auditioned for them, they got it. Stop the World was already recorded. It was already done. Normally you get the record deal and they pay for it to be done. I had an amazing crew and we did it on our own, and then the record was done and they just had to put it out. And so the creative flow was really already all there. And for me, I would never be involved with anybody that wanted to, hey kid, we're going to make you a star and change who I am. Although I'm definitely ready for some new life. There's a good chance that I'm going to be going down to Nashville and working with a buddy down there, Mike Shimshak, who I know through from years ago, touring with his band Johnny Vegas, and then met a friend of his, Brent Shuttleworth. Did you meet Brent?
I met Brent, and Brent, I'm telling you, man,
one of the best. Yeah,
you brought him into the 101 The One studio.
Oh, yeah.
We had him on the air, and oh my God,
yeah.
Tell you right now, Brent Shuttleworth, find him on Facebook.
Yeah,
this guy will blow your mind.
Yeah, so I want to go down and I want to create with Shaq. And the cool thing, that the idea that we've got, that we've talked about together, that actually was kind of inspired by Brent and his way, is to not have songs that are done, but to kind of co-create together. Because I'm such a fan of Shaq's, and I also really like to be pushed in different directions, because I will always fall into my drummery, acoustic rock, funky, feel-good groove. And not to say that it's all the same, but I'm ready for just different sounds, different things. I don't know. I don't really know what that means, other than the fact that I'm excited for new possibilities.
And you have to surround yourself with people who embrace that and really, like you said, get it.
Yeah. Well, you can just surround yourself with all your yes people, all your fans.
Sure.
And your family. They're always like, actually, that's not true. My wife and my kids will tell me when something sucks, or help me with lyrics. And I just was sitting on the couch with the kids the other day trying to work through one of these tunes. I'll turn to people that know the field, the Vermont Federation of Family for Children's Mental Health, Cindy Tabor. I sent them a version of one of these songs to help get the lyrics right. Because they used it as a meeting, as an exercise. So they played it at their morning meeting and gave me. They loved it where it was coming across, but there was one thing in the chorus that just wasn't setting right with me. And so anyway, I love that and the ability to be able to do that. But new life is cool new stuff is coming, and it always takes more time, I think, with me, because I don't have somebody pushing down my throat. You got to get this done, which is good and bad. It's good because it gives me freedom, but it's a little bit bad because I can get lazy and just kind of get into my own thing. Because the only way I make my career feed my family is through my solo shows. It's not through these big band shows. Right. The big band shows are wonderful,
ton of overhead,
and they're fulfilling, but they're expensive. Our sponsors, like your sponsors, are incredible and allow us to put these shows on the Barre Opera Houses and the Spruce Peaks and so on.
Give them some love. Give them some love.
Yeah, man.
First off, the latter one.
Yeah, Val is incredible. She stepped right up and said, I want to be a part of it. And so thank you to Val and the whole team at Ladder One.
She's amazing. She loves your stuff.
Well, she's awesome. She's such a beautiful, bubbly lover. I love her. And then, Berlin Optical Expressions.
Mark
thanks,
Liepert.
Thanks, Mark and
look
Tim.
At his glasses. Look at this man.
See? Get him.
Different pair for every day of the week.
Our ski people, vocal, Jeff Curtis over there. Of course, The Point has been amazing in playing my music for years.
They've been playing it for a long time.
Yep, Ed Flanagan's been awesome there, and Sam on the air, and all those.
Can we
those
just
cats.
pause for a second and say thank you to having a local radio station that plays local artists who live here in this state.
Yeah.
My God. I mean,
it's hard to find these days.
It's hard to find that because everything is, you bring in consultants and they tweak the format, they tighten it and tighten it and tighten it. And, especially the reporting stations. But to have a local station that's still playing, God willing, locally produced music. And let's be honest, if it's going to be locally produced, it's got to sound fantastic.
Yeah.
The quality has to be of the same caliber of what's being spun.
So hail to The Point.
Yes.
Hail to those
No
guys. We'll keep rolling. I know we got a lot. But North Branch Vineyards, John McCann, wine made in Vermont. And not just grapes that are trucked in. The grapes are grown here and the wine's made here. He's one of the hardest working dudes. I love him. And pairing up with Lost Nation, Alan at Lost Nation. He's so great, and he's such a music fan. I'm excited for him to see the band. Of course, Minuteman Press making all our posters. They're incredible. And Advanced Technology Partners out of New York City. They came on, an old friend of mine, Larry Jalbert. And then, of course, Aired Out.
I love it.
J.D. Green. That's everybody.
I'm so happy.
And Will Evans is opening the show, who used to be with this band Barefoot Truth, and he's got his family. He's actually a Benoit. I think that was his name before he became Will Evans, and he's got amazing family here that is just going to infiltrate the Barre Opera House and has Barre stories. It's his first time playing in Barre. I found him on Facebook and connected with him. And is it his first time playing? Yeah,
how'd you find him?
We've known each other for years, just through mutual friends, Adam Ezra, and he also he books the music at the Knickerbocker, which is in Rhode Island, where he lives. And Marjorie Ward at Stowe has told me about him for years, and so we're finally connecting on this, which I feel great about, and appreciate him coming up to hang with us. He's been opening. Actually, he just opened last night for Michael Franti, and then he's opening for him in Boston at the House of Blues in a couple days, and then he'll come up.
Pick up one of these guitars. Pick one. Choose one. Doesn't matter which.
Yeah.
And to think that that you could buy this guitar on Amazon for $14.95 is just remarkable. Tell me, what's the story with this guitar here first?
This is a Beard guitar. Primo and I went to an acoustic convention thanks to our friends at Fishman that we endorse, and it's this incredible guitar conference with all these homemade guitars. And it's a luthier's conference with all these guitar makers. And we fell in love with this guy, Paul Beard, out of Maryland, and met him and just like, man, I'd love to endorse your guitars. And so he gave us an artist deal, and we now represent him all over the world, as does Mark Knopfler from Dire Straits, plays a Beard. And
what's the woodwork on this? And it's steel and wood.
It is. It kind of mixes. It's kind of got this banjo meets guitar, and it's called a rezzo guitar. So you're mixing the wood here with the metal here, and it's a pretty specific tone. Whereas you have all the like the National guitars are all metal, and that's a wonderful tone, but it's not quite as warm. Everybody's got their own style as the mixture with the wood and the steel, the cone here. So this one's a brand new one, as I mentioned, and I'm gonna take you fishing right now. I'm going fishing. Low expectations. I'm going fishing. Despite my relations. Yeah. I got my boat and my brew. in my old town canoe. The sun's going down and so is my frown. Yeah, I'll go fishing. Yeah, low expectations. Ooh, yeah, I'll go fishing. Yeah, despite my relations. You see, Bodie's busting a move in our beat up Subaru. We got one headlight, but we still feeling alright. Come on, we're going fishing. Low expectations. Yeah, we're going fishing. Despite my relations. Oh yeah. If I were catching, I'd have you. I wouldn't need this damn canoe. Wow, we're going fishing. Yeah, we're going fishing. You get ready for the horns. Yeah, we're going fishing. Come on, grab your pole, baby. Ow, we're going fishing. The horns, they go like this. They sing, hey, ah. So super to bow, bow, yeah. So super to bow, bow, yeah. So super to bow, bow, is it bow, to bow, oh, bow, we're going fishing. Fishing, baby.
I love it.
Thanks, man.
Brand new tune.
Yeah, it just hit me. I've always been, Taj Mahal has, it's a fishing one, but for some reason it just I needed my own fishing. And
Right.
Bodie is such a fanatic, and I wrote
Bodie
the
is
tune.
your son.
Yeah, Bodie. Yep, Bodie.
B-O-D-I.
B-O-D-I. Yeah, man.
Yeah, come on now. Tell me about that. That's got like a reggae flair, kind
it
of a
does.
hybrid of not just reggae and funk,
Yeah,
but the horns
Yeah.
in that song
Yeah.
are popping, brother.
Yeah,
Tell
Chris-
me about the horns. You got trumpet. You got
Yeah, so Chris Peterman is my dear friend, and he runs the section. He's always figuring out who's coming in, and we have a lot of kind of roving horn positions for Barre. Our mainstays most of the time are Chris, of course, and Luke LaPlante on the Barre sax. So Chris plays tenor sax, Luke plays Barre, the big one, and then we got Barre hometown favorite. We got Matt Avery on the trombone. Oh man, one of the Avery twins,
crazy bone player.
And then on trumpet, Chris Hawthorne, who's an amazing trumpet player from Burlington, and so it was when we started doing the Spruce shows, this is our 7th year playing Spruce. So 7 years ago, I knew I wanted to do something more than just the 4-piece or the 5-piece, and so we added 3 horns in the beginning, and then we added the Barre horn for the following year,
which gives it a real bite.
Yeah, man. There's nothing like a 4-piece horn section.
Yeah.
It's really addicting, and it's very expensive.
But of course, if you've got a tight horn section and you don't have the tightest of tight drummers to go with it, you're really missing the boat here. Is Tommy with you?
Tommy's with us. Yeah,
Tell us about dear Tommy.
Tommy's just the man. I mean, he's a sweetheart. He's newly married to the lovely Jess. We're huge fans. Hi, Jess. Are you out there? And she's amazing. They live in Connecticut together with their cats. No children yet. Someday, maybe. I don't know. But he's amazing. And Rudy Doth on the bass. There's such a great rhythm section. Actually, Rudy was at the house today. We were going over these new tunes and just getting a good feel for him. And he was like, we were up eating black bean soup that Katie had made for us, and Rudy's like, I love Tommy. And I was like, man, you guys are a great section. He said, I love Tommy's drumming, It was just so sweet and honest. But the guys are so ridiculous. We have Stuart Payton, who's the founder of Burlington Taiko, playing congas with us. Yaoba Garcia has been with us, is our main guy, but he's touring with the Motet. So actually on that evening, he will be playing in Portland, Maine with the Motet, an awesome band based out of Colorado.
Yeah.
They're crazy great. And that's the band. That's all. And then, of course, Primo on lead guitar. It's so funny. Normally he's the first mentioned, but we mentioned the whole band and rounded it out with my hero, Primo.
One of the times that I had gone to one of your shows, I was sitting next to a gentleman, a Vermonter, and we got talking about you during the intermission, and he was just sitting there shaking his head. It was his first time being at a Chad Hollister show.
Oh, yeah.
And I said to him, this guy has opened up for Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, Tom Petty. He's shared the stage with PHISH.
Yeah.
Blues Traveller. Who am I forgetting here?
Billy Gibbons.
Billy Gibbons
ZZ Top.
from ZZ Top.
Merl Saunders from the Jerry Garcia Band.
Oh, my
and
God.
Warren Haynes of the Almonds. Now of Government Mule.
Yeah.
He's a sweetheart.
and we were talking about these things, and he looks at me and he says, that's impressive, but I don't give a shit. What I really care about is the fact that he's a Vermonter.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
And that was the fact that you're from Vermont is more impressive.
Yeah.
That
Well, I think people appreciate it because some people who are from Vermont that go on to have other successes still use it as a marketing tool, but really kind of lose the perspective. And I think it's something that I've been very conscious about, not from a marketing standpoint, but just because I'm a Vermont guy and I love Vermont, I always love coming home. I do a bunch of travel. I do a lot of fly dates. I just had a wonderful time in Buffalo. But just with my flight got canceled, so I had to go another flight and fly down to DC to fly to Buffalo. It's crazy, but coming home is always such a beautiful thing for me. And just Vermont, there's nothing like it. I live off of dirt roads in a beautiful home with a beautiful family, and I'm so lucky. I think people get that when I step on stage. It's not about like, hey, look at me, I'm a rock star, and it's just about no, I'm a musician that gets to play music,
And you're lucky to have your family and live in the hills here in Vermont.
Yeah, and this community is incredible. I really appreciate Barre. These guys have worked so hard to build back up this community. Barre gets a bad rap.
Yeah.
And there's bad seeds everywhere, man.
Everywhere.
But they have worked so hard, and they're doing it's great. I love it. I love it.
I want to I want you to play my favorite song that you play, but I first want to, fess up to something. When I first here's my experience anyway of being at a Chad Hollister show. And by the way, if you don't have your tickets yet for this coming Saturday night, get on it. I'm telling you what, it's going to be the best $30 that you've spent in a long time.
And here's the thing: if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
It's
impossible. I don't care what genre of music.
I've never had to do that, but I feel so confident. The night's going to be so amazing. There's some really cool surprises. There is a song that I have never sung anywhere that's going to be an amazing surprise. I can't really tell you anything more about it, but when you hear it, you will cry.
Well, yeah, it's amazing that you say that, because what I was just going to tell you, the first time that I ever saw your show on a bigger stage, I had seen you acoustically, but I had never seen you with your 10-piece band, which, by the way, is absolutely remarkable. What Vermont musician do you know is running around with a 10-piece band? Unreal. But when I saw you perform, when I experienced you perform for the first time with this band, the sound that was coming off of that stage was so encompassing. When you played Riley Odelia,
Yeah.
which is your daughter.
Mm-hmm.
It's your daughter's name, who is how old now?
14.
And you wrote that when she was how old? About?
Probably 3.
Probably 3.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, and I think up until then I had just maybe just said hello to you a little bit. We had chatted very briefly. We became friends right off, but I don't think I had experienced you on stage yet with such a big sound. And when you performed that song with your 10-piece band at the Spruce Peak Performing Arts Center, I was doing all I could to hold back the tears.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even know Riley then. But just the fact that a dad could write such a beautiful song about his child, I'm getting choked up here as I'm I find that just astonishing. I wish that I could do that for Lily. I wish, man, I tell you, if I could be a musician and be able to write a song about my kid like that, to capture how you feel about them is amazing. I'm going to shut up because I'm starting to.
No, I mean, I think that's the other thing too, is that like this is all a gift. Like you're jumping out and doing your thing, air it out. I'm so proud of you for that. Music, it's what I do. I feel really thankful. But when it really comes down to it, family, to be able to have a family and to be able to have, that Katie and Sherilyn are able to birth these children. It's the most beautiful thing ever.
It's not one of the most.
It's crazy. I mean, I just remember, I'll never forget that first time of Riley and then Bodie being born, those days, and just sitting there watching, and there is, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And so that gift that a woman has to bring these children into the world, and then just to be a parent, and always, hardest job ever, and to co-parent and to make sure that you're on the same page, and that you're showering these kids with love, but you're also words of wisdom that you'd think as a rock and roller that I'd think I was cool. I'm not that cool, dorky dad,
Right.
and I'm okay with that, because I wouldn't want it any other way. But it's just parenthood is crazy. It's such a gift.
Even on the worst days,
Yeah, totally.
I love
It's hard. Yeah.
coming home
Right.
to my kid. I don't care what kind of mood she's in or what's going on, man. When that little girl, when I come through the door and she's in my arms,
Yeah.
I'm numb.
Daddy.
Nothing better.
Yeah.
Play Breathe for us, man. Would you?
Yeah.
Or is there another one?
Oh, let's do that one.
Can you do it?
Yeah. I think I remember the words. When the wall comes down and you've lost your crown, and the clouds they seem so dark, you lost who you are, and the stone feels cold right down to your soul, just to find your core in the dark, early morn. And you're not alone in the air. Your only friend, just breathe and breathe once again. And it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Just breathe and breathe once again. Once again. Again. When the rain pours down and you've almost drowned, and the tears and the water blends, and it's hard to see where you are. And then it's getting so cold and you're feeling old, and there's a door. Just soup and her walking, yeah. And you crave your home and you're not alone in the air. Your only friend, just breathe and breathe once again. And it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Just breathe and breathe once again, Lord. Once again, light, once again, see it once again, oh, and again, yeah. Ooh, ooh, and you crave your home and you're not alone in the air. You're on the friend, just breathe and breathe once again. And then it all seems so black and white, just like that Vermont winter evening sky. Just breathe, breathe once again. And you crave your home and you're not alone in the air. Your only friend, just breathe and breathe once again. And it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Hey, just breathe, breathe once again. Just breathe and breathe once again. We'll just breathe, breathe once again. Sit once again. And again, Lord. And again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Just breathe once again.
It's amazing, buddy. I mean, you got Billy on the other side of the wall here.
Billy.
Fantastic.
Thanks, man.
Wow. I don't know what to say about that song other than every time I hear it, it gives me goosebumps. And to think what you've done with that song, which when you listen to it acoustically, that's one thing. Sometimes when you hear a song done acoustically and then you hear that a 10-piece band is going to be attempting it, you almost instinctually say, no, don't do that. No, how is that possible? But what you've done with your band arrangement of that is
on that one
the way
we do
Primo's crying with the guitar.
Yeah. And we do. There's no horns on that one. On the record version, there's strings. And I'm a huge fanatic of strings. But then the live...
Break it down for us. When you say strings, you're talking orchestra.
Yes. We had a cellist on the record. Eric Remschneider came in and did that. But we've had a lot of different folks do it. Michael Close, who's a wonderful teacher at Doty Memorial. He's an incredible cellist, and he wrote out the parts. We've also done it with Ann Decker, who's a teacher at U32. And she's awesome, and we did it with her students. They played on Breathe and on Walk Away. So I love strings, but on the live version, it always is different. But I think at Barre, it will be Primo, myself, and then Tommy and Rudy, just quartet, but really sparse. Like they like Tommy does just brushes, and like Primo, like you said, cries.
Yeah, he does.
On his guitar. Yeah, he's so tapped.
And it was a soundtrack.
It was. Yeah, it was on the soundtrack of the movie 9/11. 9/11 had very little music, so it wasn't in the movie per se, but it was on that soundtrack, which was a heavy film.
I'm always a little hesitant to say this because I know that a lot of musicians hate being put in a box, especially when they're writing original music.
Go ahead, put me in a box.
I'm not going to put you in a box because the thing is, it's literally
just put me in a box.
I can't put you in the
Seal
box,
it.
buddy. You're not going to fit.
Mail it.
I mean,
mail it to Sweden.
You've got
Sweden.
You've got the funk in there. You've got the horns. You've got some Dave Matthews. You got a little bit of reggae. I know you and I both grew up loving Stuart Copeland of the Police, I mean, you talk about a pioneer, someone who incorporated reggae into rock and made it pop.
Yeah,
I mean,
people didn't even know it was happening.
They didn't even know that. Of course they didn't. Of course they didn't.
Yeah.
But, you've got such a smorgasbord of different genres that are coming into your music. And with Thanksgiving right around the corner, I might even say cornucopia.
Wow.
I'm just,
Jeez.
But there's so much music. There's so many different genres that are oozing out of just one album or one live performance. You've got it all in there. You've got funk, reggae, you've got Americana, you've got
straight up rock.
Yeah. You got
tearjerkers.
You got some tearjerkers. Does anyone ever say Goo Goo Dolls to you?
Yeah. I get the Resnick thing a bunch.
Do you?
Yeah. I got the Resnick thing. I've gotten the Edwin McCain thing.
Edwin McCain. God, I didn't even think of that one. That's spot on.
He's incredible. I've gotten the Jeffrey Gaines thing. I've gotten a lot of the Dave Matthews thing. I think a lot because of the acoustic guitar and just the vibe of the band. We get a lot. We get the Simon and Garfunkel-y thing, and the Paul Simon, because that's like Wake Up has got this real Paul Simon-y.
Yeah. Oh. Talk about a tight horn section.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so fun. But I in the beginning I used to get frustrated with all the comparisons, and now I love it and embrace it.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, because I guess I never wanted to sound like any one person. Sure. But now I love hearing all the comparisons because we'll get compared to some, out there
stuff.
Just really different stuff, or that people hear that in my music, like when people hear the Police creeping in, or they hear
I hear it all. I hear it.
Hear the James Brown or the Etta James, or just all the whatever it might be. So I do. I love it all. And I think so many people they have that need to compare you to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's their way of complimenting you. And I've learned that throughout the years and embrace that, and I love it.
What was it like opening up for Tom Petty? Can you talk a little bit to that and how you felt when we lost Tom?
Oh, it was horrible. I was devastated. Just because I think I just think of a loss for the music world, of like, man, I wanted to know what he was going to do next, and I just missing out on that music is just heartbreaking for me. But it was an amazing experience. We did the Bob Dylan and Paul Simon, they were together on tour, and both of those shows, the Tom Petty and then the Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, were at the just outside of West Palm Beach at the Coral Sky Amphitheater.
How'd you get attached to the bill?
She was the woman that was booking it was a fan, and she got in touch and said she gave us 3 options. She said, "Oh, we're wondering if you'd like to open some shows here." I said, "Yeah, well, who?" And she said, "Bob Dylan, Paul Simon, Tom Petty, or Santana." I said, can I do them all? And she said, well, pick two. And so I picked Dylan and Simon and Tom Petty, and so we were on there. There was two stages. There was as you came in, there was the Levi's stage. That's the stage we were on, and then there was their stage. But it was incredible, and just an incredible experience. I didn't get to meet Petty, but I got to meet Paul Simon and his whole band. And Dylan, understandably, closes backstage. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. And if I were Bob Dylan, I don't know if I'd want to talk to anybody either. Like, just people saying, "Oh man, I know what you were talking about when you wrote Heaven's Door." I told you,
yeah,
like,
of course.
Leave me alone, you jackass. Like, I mean, I just can't even imagine. I mean, I think that's the other thing too. People talk about fame and all that stuff, and I just thank the Lord that I'm not famous. I mean, just like in terms of, I love it when people recognize me on the street or say hello, but I just think about even like what the PHISH guys have to go through with people like whispering everywhere they go. And,
right.
and I've talked to a couple of them about it, and they're like, I just wish that people would just come up and say hi and then go on their way. Not tell me what show they were at, because I don't care. Not that I don't care, but
right.
like I do care about the shows, but just like those guys are so huge, but I love the level of where I am, in terms of that. I mean, I think my dream is I'd love more people to know my music, but still be able to just be a normal dude on the street, like I am now.
Saturday night, doors are going to open at when show?
6 o'clock, and I encourage you to get there because
this is the Barre Opera House we're talking about, everybody. The Barre Opera House right here in the Granite City.
Yep, and Lost Nation and North Branch Vineyards are going to be pouring at 6:01.
Beautiful.
And I don't know if you could take the beers or wine into the theater. I don't think you can. So you'll have a good hour to hang and buy some merchandise. We're going to have some brand new sweatshirts. I know you're a fan of sweatshirts. We're having new maroon sweatshirts and black sweatshirts with Chad Hollister Band Stop the World on the back. So we're excited about that.
I swear to you.
The orange one.
I swear to you. Sherilyn will tell you. Go ahead. Just ask her without even me being around. Yeah. You whisper into her ear, what's JD's favorite sweatshirt?
Still the orange one, or the new Stop the World one?
It's the new one. It's
the new
Stop
one.
the World.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I should have been wearing that today. Damn it.
That's okay.
Damn.
That's okay.
But I've got two Chad Hollister sweatshirts, and I rotate them.
Yeah.
And Sherilyn will be the first to tell you that they don't get washed until there's some serious odor coming out of both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, some grime. I make sure that, these are the only two sweatshirts where if I'm going out to the barn to do stuff, even for 5-10 minutes, sweatshirt's off.
Yeah.
I don't want to get it soiled up.
You're
on Facebook. You're obviously extremely active with social media. Instagram.
Instagram I try. Chad Hollister. I do a little bit of Twitter stuff, but mostly Instagram and
your
Facebook.
Website.
ChadMusic.com.
ChadMusic.com. You do an outstanding job promoting yourself and self-marketing. And I'll tell you, you and Rusty DeWeese.
Yeah, he's my hero.
Are a model to me for marketing my podcast. I follow your lead. You are cool, so grassroots and organic with the way you market yourself. You're always, you and Rusty both. You're always.
Rusty's like the Godfather, man. I learned so much from that guy, and his we knew about each other and we had met each other, but you kind of introduced us and helped us be more friends.
Wasn't that a great day?
That was a great day. But he's so incredible. And then Patrick Ross, who's a dear friend that he's commandeered to be the fiddler in the Logger and the Fiddler Show. I love that guy.
I will never forget the day that you and Rusty and I sat in his barn on a crappy, rainy, icy, slick day in March, I think it was, and we sat in that barn around the wood stove and puffed a little on a cigar and just broke it down.
Yeah.
That was so cool.
He's a great guy, man. He's so Vermont. He's so real, and I love the way he's been so supportive of you too, and just I think both of us are so proud of you for doing it, man. It's not easy to go out on your own. It's the same thing with running a band or it's not easy. I mean, the marketing, all that stuff. There's so much to it. So kudos to you for slaying it, man.
I'll tell you, not being able to have friends like you and Rusty and Jamie Lee Thurston and many others.
Jamie's coming on.
Jamie's coming on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah.
Which I can't wait for. But to not have you guys in my circle would be devastating. And I remember saying to you and Rusty, I feel like I need to try something new and get out of radio, and I want to do this podcast. But it's scary, man.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Sure.
But you guys gave me a nice swift kick in the ass, and it really encouraged me big time, and I'll forever be indebted to you for that. No matter where this goes.
Yeah.
The fact that we're friends and you support me, and it just means everything to me. ChadMusic.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing?
I think those are the ones. I think
those are the ones. And
yeah, I had Snapchat for about 3 minutes, and then my kids reminded me that you have to take pictures of yourself. It's like, I'm out of here. But too many of these stupid snapshots. Riley's so good at streaks. I don't even know what a streak is. I can show you what streaking is, kids. They're like, Dad, stop it.
No. Tell us where you've just been recently. You promote yourself so well. And by the way, if you get into any of that social media, you will most definitely not miss an upcoming show by Chad Hollister from a small acoustic venue, maybe small cafe, to this big 10-piece band show that's coming Saturday night to the Barre Opera House. You won't miss anything. But I forgot what I was going to ask you.
Something great.
Yeah.
It was about my travels and my latest.
Yeah,
travels.
Where have you just recently been? Just if you can name off just a few gigs over the last couple of weeks, couple of months.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Buffalo.
You're everywhere.
Yeah, the Buffalo gig was great. Playing for a good friend, Shannon Goodberry, that she just loves my thing, so she flew me in and got to hang out. Went to see. Val actually was so happy because she was jealous when I was going to the Bills game. They took me to a Bills game, and Philadelphia crushed the Bills. And let me tell you, when you're at the home stadium and they lose, it's not pretty.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Town was a lot quieter that night. We went to a restaurant that night called Ballyhoo, and it was amazing, like homemade sausages, like different flavored sausages.
Oh, my God.
And then craft cocktails.
Wow.
Buffalo is crazy. And then here's the coolest thing. You're going to hear this in song, and I haven't talked to anybody about it yet, but you come out, and General Mills is right there, and you come out, and there's this sweet smell, and you're like, and it's the smell of Cheerios.
Oh, you're kidding.
Oh, man. There's nothing like it. My buddy Kenny and his wife Michelle, we were hanging out, Kenny, Michelle, and Shannon and myself, and came out, and he's like, because he had told me about it, and I was like, I hope I get to smell that, and I came out, and he said, there it is. And it's unbelievable how incredible it is. Like, Buffalo is a really cool city. There's been a whole resurgence. It used to be all these mills. Like, to get into this area, there's all these old mills that they're trying to revitalize and bring back and kind of reinvent with different things and stores and just trying to bring it back. But the food in Buffalo, I mean, it's not just buffalo wings. Let me tell you. There's killer stuff all over the place.
I'm going to ask you to take us out here, but before we do that, just a shout out to my sponsors. And man, Chad, I've got some awesome sponsors.
Yeah, tell me about them.
Gauthier's Quality Grounds and Maintenance of Orange. Jason Gauthier and his team, they do impeccable landscaping, and they're going to be plowing an awful lot this winter. Project Independence, right here in the heart of Barre on North Main Street. We love them. Active Adult Day Health Services. PIBarre.org. If you want to learn more about them, they're going to be on the show soon. Fontaine Forestry and Millworks of East Montpelier. Look at this gorgeous table from Mark Fontaine and family.
Beautiful, nice
They'll
work,
do it
Mark.
plain, tongue and groove, rough cut, you name it, custom orders. They're amazing. And, of course, Fly on the Wall Productions and CVTV723.org. Tony Campos and company. Take us out, buddy, and God bless you. Saturday
Thanks,
night, come to the Barre Opera House. Get your tickets, barreoperahouse.org. There's still some seats left with a special guest, Will Evans, who's going to be opening up. Doors at 6. It will be a night. It will be an experience that you never will forget. Trust me on this one. You have my word. Chad Hollister, Stop the World is his album. You can get this where, Chad?
You know, you can get it through Amazon, but I recommend heading into Montpelier and getting it from my buddies Nate and Hav at Bookspieler. It's the only record store in the world that has it, and I know that there are 2 copies left. My buddy from Connecticut ordered it from Bookspieler.
Wow.
Thank you, Duncan. But anyway, and you can get it at all our shows, but it's it's a special one.
All right. Saturday night, Barre Opera House, Chad Hollister, this guy with his 10-piece band. Take us out, and thanks for coming. We love you, buddy.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. See you guys Saturday.
There's an empty feeling that I keep on getting as I wake each day. I see your eyes, they open with a sadness in them, makes me want to say, you keep feeling we don't need you. Hear your voice and let it break through. You've been dancing on the way. Nobody getting your way. To let this world miss another day. You've been dancing in your own way. There's a place here for you in this world that needs you in your loving way. I find it in your heart, or maybe through the trees. Winds blow you through the fray. Wish I'd known about it and reached out for your hand, but you got away. You keep feeling we don't need you. Your voice and let it break through. And you've been dancing in your own way. Ain't nobody pushing your way. Don't let this world miss another day. You've been dancing better days. Hold on for better days. Gotta hold on. Hold on for better days. Gotta hold on. Hold on for better days.